boys and girls. Welcome to Storytime at Home. I'm glad you could join me today. Today we're going to have some stories about being an artist. We're going to start with a story about some mice who are kind of artists. And it's called Mouse Paint, and the book is by Stoll Walsh. But I'm just going to tell you the story instead of reading it from the book. There were once 3 white mice. Can you count them with me? 1, 2, 3. On a white piece of paper. And the cat couldn't find them. One day the cat was asleep, and the mice saw 3 jars of paint. A red jar, a yellow jar, and a blue jar. And they thought it was mouse paint. So they climbed right in. Then there was, here he goes, a red mouse and a yellow mouse and a blue mouse. Well, the mice dripped puddles of paint. And to them, the puddles really looked like fun. Well, the puddles looked like so much fun. So, the red mouse stuck his feet into the yellow paint. And he did a little dance, and his feet stirred the yellow puddle until, look, he cried. Red feet in a yellow paint makes orange. And the yellow mouse stepped into the blue puddle. His feet mixed and stirred and mixed and stirred until, look down, said the red mouse. Yellow feet in a blue puddle make green. Well, then the blue mouse stepped into the red puddle. And he splashed and mixed and danced until purple, they all shouted. Red feet, red paint with blue feet in them make purple. But the paint on their fur got all sticky and stiff. So they decided to wash themselves down. Where do you think they did that? Right here. They washed themselves down until they were nice and soft white again. And they painted the paper instead. So they painted one red part, and then they painted a yellow part, and then they painted a blue part, and then they mixed the red and the yellow and painted an orange part. And then they mixed the yellow and the blue and painted a green part. And then they mixed the blue and the red and painted a purple part. But they left the rest white. because of the cat. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. We're going to have another story about a little boy who loves to paint. He loves to paint so much that he got a little carried away. And he painted everywhere. Wonder what his mother's gonna say. Let's find out. Our story today is, I Ain't Gonna Paint No More. It's by Karen Beaumont, illustrated by David Cottrell, and it's from Harcourt Publishers. One day, my mama caught me painting pictures on the floor, and the ceilings, and the walls, and the curtains, and the door. And I heard my mama holler like I never did before. "Ya ain't gonna paint no more." Look where she's putting it. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. I ain't gonna paint no more. That's what I say, but there ain't no way that I ain't gonna paint no more. So I take some red and I paint my head. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. What the heck? Gonna paint my neck. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Still I just can't rest till I paint my chest. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Guess there ain't no harm if I paint my arm. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. I ain't gonna paint no more. But I just can't stand not to paint my hand. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Then I see some black, so I paint my back. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Like an Easter egg, gonna paint my leg. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. Still I ain't complete till I paint my feet. Now I ain't gonna paint no more. I ain't gonna paint no more, no more. I ain't gonna paint no more. But I'm such a nut, gonna paint my what? Y'all don't faint, 'cause there ain't no paint. So I ain't gonna paint no more. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed our stories today about the mice and about the little boy who painted too much. So I hope you come back again, and please be sure and pick up your craft bag if you don't already have one. This week's craft is very simple. I gave you some paper and I gave you a set of watercolor paints, and you can be the artist and paint whatever you want to paint. So I hope you come and get that to do at home. We'll see you next time.